I'd like to call to order February 10th work session agenda. I'd like to announce that everyone is here, but Brandon is going to be a little late, all right, so he'll sneak in on us. All right, I'd like to remind council at this work session that staff will be pausing intermittently to answer any questions. Number one item is to update the judicial branch activity for the Goodyear Municipal Court for FY19. To recap the FY18 and future court initiatives. Looking forward to that. And the Honorable Ira Galindo will present.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and esteemed members of council. It is my genuine pleasure.
Be sure you put in the microphone because you have a mayor that doesn't hear that well. That's good. Thank
Are we
you.
good here?
All the way in.
All the way in like this?
So I guess they aren't hearing very well either. So
Okay. I promise this will not be political, but it will last more than 45 seconds. So it is my sincere pleasure to be here before you today to present. And can you hear me okay? Mm-hmm. Are we good? Okay. To present the Goodyear Municipal Court State of the Court Address. And I would very much like to provide a brief synopsis, as Madam Mayor mentioned, before I began. My predecessor, Judge Simonson, did retire in October of 2019. However, no fiscal year 18-19 presentation was provided to you. So I will begin this presentation with a brief recap. Full executive summaries for each fiscal year have been provided to Mayor and Council through the submission process in Legistar. At the end of this presentation, please feel free to ask any questions about information contained in either of these summaries. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. If we moving on to the next slide, you can see this shows charge filings per case type for fiscal year 18 and 19. New legislation, particularly the decriminalization of driving on a suspended license for failure to appear in court or failure to pay, and corrective lens violations became effective the 1st of January of 2019. These changes have impacted the court's criminal traffic and civil traffic filings. Some community outreach and partnerships for the time that Judge Simonson was still here. The e-citation project was fully implemented, and this was done through court funding used to support the project. The head prosecutor from the city prosecutor's office, Mr. Mike Periscandolan, Ms. Whalen, our court administrator, and Judge Simonson also participated in a mock trial here at the local library. And finally, Judge Simonson also read at a local elementary school. Turning to compliance for that specific time frame, the minimum accounting standards, our triennial audit, which takes place every 3 years, was completed from August 2nd to the 3rd of 2018, and the audit was reported to the Arizona Supreme Court. The City of Goodyear Municipal Court was compliant. Our next triennial audit will be performed in August 2021. The court has not been contacted for another operational review to continue because of our continued compliance. However, since the last operational review did take place in 2012, I've actually reached out to the AOC to request that one be scheduled. I was informed, though, that because they schedule out for a full year, they cannot complete that for 2020, but I did ask if we can be made one of the first ones for 2021. I find this audit very valuable because it consists of not only our financials, which the triennial audit covers, but also case processing and management. So it's a very comprehensive look at the entire court's operations. And it's good because it highlights our strengths and possibly deficiencies and where we can make things better. Additionally, through the CIP-approved funding, the court completed a court security study in fiscal year 2019, which identified areas of improvement within the facility we sit in today in order to meet our court security standards. The court is currently in the pre-construction phase, of implementing those improvements, and will present to you this information after we conclude our study session at today's regular council meeting. Before I move on to sharing what we have accomplished thus far and where I would like to take this court, do we have any questions pertaining to fiscal year 18 or 19?
Any questions, council? Yes, Wally?
Judge, did you just say that end of the year report has been sent to us through Legistar or something like that? Did I?
The 2 executive summaries have been sent to you. Did you receive those?
Probably, but my computer was in CPR for a while, and maybe I missed it.
We can go ahead and we can print
Do you
something out.
resend it to me, please? Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, moving forward, our winds of change. I began my appointment and commenced heading the court on the 21st of January of 2019. And when I began, I did a lot of observation, and I thought through processes and evaluated what existed and was in place. And we recognized opportunities to assess current practices, procedures, deficiencies, strengths, and of course, prospects for growth. There's a new focus now to the Goodyear Municipal Court. Our new focus is to work tirelessly to become a premier court, or what we also know as a high-performing court. This I will explain in further detail following this segment of the presentation. We now have new attention and direction. After observing and evaluating the existing court processes, needs were identified and immediate improvements were implemented. And I'll give you some examples of those. We used to have what we refer to as a cattle call. That's where many people, sometimes 40 plus or sometimes even 50, were calendared for one setting to have their civil arraignments conducted before the judge. And these were sessions that were overcrowded and took up a great deal of time and effort to get through. Civil traffic hearings were scheduled twice a month for one either AM or PM session, and order to show cause hearings, which are the hearings that we schedule to determine and monitor a defendant's compliance with their court obligations, had no true designated place where the court would address them. So one of the first things that we began to implement was to make this more efficient, more user-friendly. And we didn't want people waiting for hours on end to resolve their cases. So we restructured our court dockets, and we expanded to a full week. Now civil traffic hearings are heard every Monday morning, every single week, and we pepper them in if there's availability throughout the week. So we're not necessarily fixated on just one session per week. But when we have windows, we go ahead and make sure that we fill those up with hearings. Also, orders to show cause hearings are every single afternoon, every single Monday. Those are for sure. And then we make very sure that should a jury trial or a bench trial not go, we make sure to accommodate as many as we can so we can have more people be seen by the judge and have their cases reviewed. Civil traffic arrangements, and this is where the cattle call was eliminated, are now handled at the front customer window. And we have court clerks from our customer service division that are actually servicing it, and they service it from Monday through Friday. Now, these few improvements have to our caseload have created a more manageable traffic flow to our court customers, given especially the small waiting area that we have here in the lobby and a constant movement of customers in and out of the court from Monday through Friday. Adding dockets that take up the entire week also aligns our court with the Arizona Supreme Court's Fair Justice Task Force, and their focus is to ensure that we give defendants more opportunity to become compliant with their obligations before the court takes corrective action. We are also engaging in what we call a soft cap. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. It's the Compliance Assistance Program. City of Phoenix was one of the first municipal courts to institute. So we have begun to actually implement a soft version of it. Here, we allow defendants to enter into a payment contract for outstanding civil traffic and parking traffic fines. And they can do this without even having to see a judge. If the defendant makes the required down payment and makes affordable monthly payments, we electronically report to the Department of Motor Vehicles and advise them that they are current with their debt with the court. This then enables the defendant to go to MVD so that they can do whatever administrative requirement they have to, fulfill it there, and have their license suspended. And once more, they can drive again. Now, we haven't been able to do this permanently and take this on completely because we don't have a permanent staffing needs to accommodate, but we are very hopeful. We have some automation and technology that we have implemented as well. We now have new payment plans. We are now ordering monthly payment obligations. And with this, we accompany it with new automation. So we have enhanced our FAIR website to include online citation payments. And these payments are at no cost to the court, and they are available 24 hours a day. We send text message notifications. You missed a payment, your court's coming up. Call us because if you don't show up, we'll issue a warrant for your arrest. And in fact, we have a number of defendants come in and say, I swear, Judge, I didn't get the text. Could it be that you changed your phone number? Possibly. So it works. They're expecting it. And we see it in our lives every day. We get texts for our doctor, for our dentist, dry cleaner. So we're engaged in the same kind of service to our court users. We also have the Help Center public computer. This public computer allows users to access their motor vehicle records, public record searches, and so much more. Additionally, with the public computer, we now have AZ Point because we now have a new method of filing and submitting to the court orders of protection, and I'll explain that in a minute. We also have added a new court email, and this allows for increased access for the court users to quickly correspond with the court. If I were to hazard a guess, I would imagine about 70, maybe 75% of people are now using our email, texting us. And so we need to make absolutely sure that we provide that avenue for communication. And finally, thanks to all of you, we now have public Wi-Fi in this building, and that makes everyone happy, although they always are searching for some outlets to make sure that they have enough power. So we are using advances in technology. We are doing this to consistently monitor and track the compliance of every court user, and we are providing these services in a fast and convenient way. These are but some of the preliminary but key changes to the court procedures that will enhance our ability to deliver fair, efficient, and timely justice to everyone, every day. We also took a look at our organizational chart. Having completed this thorough assessment of the court's organization, it became clear that our structure needed some attention and tweaking. As the city of Goodyear explodes with opportunity, so does the Goodyear Municipal Court. Currently, we have two divisions. We have a customer service division, and we have a case processing division. These divisions are now directly overseen by two supervisors. One permanent supervisor who is Mr. Peter Sarsosa, and he heads up our customer service division. And also we have a temporary supervisor for case processing, Ms. Tracy Edwards. You may recall that we requested, and you very generously authorized this position, and the chief motivator was to address the court's records. Tracy was welcomed onto our team in December, late December of 2019, and she has quickly begun evaluating and determining an effective process to tackle this concern. These two supervisors directly report to Ms. Whalen, my right hand, my court administrator, and she in turn directly reports to me. This new court management team comprised of our two new supervisors, our court administrator, work closely together and on a daily basis to ensure accuracy in our work productivity for all of our team members, and excellent customer service every single day. In engaging with our community. And you can see a little photograph there. We hosted our first ever Law Day, May 1st. And of course, the title of it was Coffee, Courts, and the Constitution. And we thank so much for Mayor Lord and Councilwoman Kano, who actually came to visit. Thank you so much. We are planning something very special for this year as well. We do this to commemorate the importance of what we do every day and how the Constitution comes alive every day in these walls. Additionally, Ms. Whalen, our justice partner, Mr. Paris Condola from the prosecutor's office, and I all participated in the LEAD program. We got very good marks. In fact, we're scheduled for the 10th to present again, and we're going to outdo ourselves this year because we want to continue being on the top of everyone's I want to go there and visit list. When I came on board and I participated in the GEO program, I found it wonderful, very comprehensive, detailed in reference to every single department here in the city. But there was one glaring omission, the court. So immediately, I discussed this with Human Resources, and shortly, soon thereafter, we became part of it. And we have been actively participating through presentations and sometimes tours and some court observation time permitting. And we found that the response has been very good to that, and we appreciate being part of the city of Goodyear. Looking ahead, becoming a high-performing or premier court. What is a premier or high-performing court, you may ask yourself? It is a court that focuses on administrative excellence, that we continually seek sustained operational improvement by using data-driven measures to conduct ongoing assessments of court practices. The high-performance framework is endorsed by the National Association of State Courts, a reputable organization, and it suggests a series of flexible steps that courts can take to integrate performance improvement into their ongoing operations. Some of the steps include focusing on key administrative principles that clarify what high performance is, understanding how a court's managerial culture can promote common goals and collegial cooperation, developing the capacity to measure our performance, and learning to use the results to refine our procedures. Taken together, these steps form a quality cycle, if you will, that courts can follow to enhance the administration of justice. Today, we begin pouring a strong new foundation for the standards that this court will create for itself. We have identified, as you can see, 5 areas of focus: efficiency, innovation, culture of change, communication, and customer-oriented. For efficiency, we are looking to establish acceptable quality levels for time standards from initiation to termination of each case. We are establishing best practices for processing cases and assisting customers in a fair and efficient manner. Some current examples that we are involved in include me, some judicial involvement. I have, in essence, taken over the paperwork process in court. A lot of the times, most judges just stream through a number of constitutional rights, and do you understand this? An initial here, sign there, okay, go to my clerk. And then the clerk handles the rest. I don't think it's the clerk's job. I think it's my job. So for me, it is very important to have a frank exchange with each defendant so that they understand what is happening. Those who work in the judiciary, we're very used to what we do. We process, initiate, and close cases. We eat, sleep, repeat, the same thing over and over. However, for a defendant, it may be the very first time that they come to court, are exposed to court, and much less even see a judge. So it's an intimidating process. So we've made it a little more humane. I find it important to ensure that each defendant understands their case, understands their constitutional rights, understands the potential consequences associated with a decision or the outcome of a trial. understands their obligations going forward, and understands the court's expectations of them as well. We're walking a mile in our court users' shoes. When I first started, there was a general question: would you like to be on the receiving end of how the court conducts its business? When the answer was no, changes had to be made. So that is why we have expanded our court dockets. We've eliminated long wait times at by the windows with additional assistance. It has been quicker on the phones to respond and quicker times as well to be seen in court. We have remodeled our customer service area where the transaction windows are located, and added an additional station to allow multiple clerks to work in that given space. This actually took place during New Year's Eve, and Ms. Whalen was at the helm assisting, and it was done very well, and it has given us that additional space that we so needed. Additionally, we're slated to add 2 new staff workstation barriers in the next 2 months, and this is to reduce noise. Our general work area is small, and we have a lot of activity every single day. We have phone calls, we have discussions between supervisors and staff. The judge goes in there and annoys them every once in a while. People are talking through the speak holes and the bulletproof glass. So we need to make sure that we enhance the productivity of our staff and create a bit of a sound barrier to allow them to perform their tasks more efficiently. Some innovation and use of technology that we have implemented is we're integrating technology into court procedures. We have some video remote and on-demand interpreting services. So when I first started, it was very important for me to see how much we used our court interpreter. I came from a jurisdiction where we needed a court interpreter 95% of the time. And so having evaluated the caseload, and when I came here taking the full caseload on to see what the magnitude of it was and what the uses of our interpreter were in the courtroom, we decided to repurpose the position because the need for a full-time interpreter was not really there. So we repurposed it, and in order to better use and incorporate technology into our daily operations, at the same time we created a budget savings. And we provide that convenience to court users. So should we have a Spanish defendant walk in, we don't have an interpreter, we now have a contract with Language Line. Dial our number, enter our code, we obtain an interpreter, we begin. Conclude our session, it's done. And it's a lot cheaper too. Convenience, we've expanded use of websites for filling out protective orders, which I mentioned that we use with our public computer there. New easy portals for public orders became effective, the 1st of January of this year. No longer can a defendant come in and say, can I fill out an order? We actually kindly accompany them to the public computer, and they must fill out the forms that are now available online. Once those are completed, they are electronically submitted into our case management system, and then the printed document is generated and provided to me in court. We go through the hearing, and then should any additions be warranted, we go back with them. Our staff assists them because it's a challenging process. It's not very user-friendly, and the font is very, very tiny. But we will persevere. And so we assist them, and I have a looking glass so that I can make sure that I can see everything I need to read, and it's going to prove to be a success. Our future goal is video remote appearances for in-custody defendants. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office initiated a tablet rollout in December of 2019. This was a part of a new program designed to reduce repeat offenses. These devices are given to detainees, and they have access to limited contact, and they have the ability to be in contact with their family. So Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has expressed their willingness to provide courts access to these tablets to conduct hearings, should we have any, with their detainees, free of charge. Our court, of course, is very excited to take advantage of this unprecedented access, and we will definitely be contacting MCSO, and we'd like to start scheduling post-adjudicated cases. Those are the cases that have gone through either a trial or a plea agreement, and the sentence has already taken place, and we are now making or ensuring success beyond that. Those are the cases that are better suited for that, because I still do very much appreciate the personal touch, the one-on-one exchange with the defendant through the preliminary part of their case. Now, should this be successful, we would very much like to expand this to out-of-custody, post-adjudicated cases as well. So we are looking very, very forward to this. We will require additional network, and we will require AOC approval, but we look forward to the challenge. A culture of change. Alignment of personal values with organizational values. As we know, we're looking at adaptability right now, and the rollout of our city's core values beautifully marries with our judicial canons. So we take advantage of making absolutely sure that we incorporate our core values and our judicial canons with our staff, management, myself, on a daily basis. It is very important for us to actually acknowledge and recognize our staff's job, recognize effort, being helpful to each other. Before we even started with the muggings here, which, by the way, everyone's gotten a mug here, we had a You're Honored program. We still have it in place. And this, in large part, was created by Ms. Whalen, where we shout out and say, hey, you did a great job. Customer called back, and you did wonderful. Thank you for helping your coworker do X or Y. Thank you for being patient with the judge because you didn't understand the forms that we have in courtroom. So we always love to make sure that we prepare our staff. We like to prepare. Succession planning is very important to us. And this increases our ability to train in-house. Now, currently, we have managers that are able to give this one-on-one attention to our staff. The more managers we have, the more time we can actually spend with each person to be able to polish their skills or make sure that we correct deficiencies, should there be some. Why we do this is because we care about the success of the court. We achieve this by setting common goals and working together, and we celebrate our achievement as a team. Communication is number 4. Our future goal is to revamp the court website for updated and relevant information. You have seen, maybe, because this is a shared use facility, our vision statement. It's posted everywhere, even in the bathroom. And it's just a constant reminder of letting everybody know what we are here to do every day with every encounter we have with a court user. We also have active communication with stakeholders and other justice partners, and we do so to target the enhancement of our fair, efficient, and timely administration of justice. That is very important to us. Number 5, and our final one, is customer orientation. To satisfy customers, what business processes must we excel at? To me, it's a more personal approach. Sometimes courts feel very overwhelming and very cold. And throughout the court process, from arraignment to sentencing and beyond, it's important to get to know your user, to get to know what's going on in their life, to see what's impeding their success, and to work with them until they reach that success. By me being able to have a more rolling up my sleeves kind of interaction with defendants, I ensure that there is individualized justice and procedural due process for every single person. I make absolutely sure that there are candid exchanges, that every single person leaves understanding what's happening, as opposed to, I have no idea what happened, Judge. I honestly, that way I can remind them, no, we were here together on this date and we discussed all of this. I actually have some of them repeat what's going on when I see there's not much of a tension going on there, to ensure that they know what the next steps. We're even developing checklists. This is what you need to do next. If you have any questions, always contact the court. We are here to help you. Finally, these are some photographs of our court. That's apparently me standing during my session. I think it's very important to stand because it's good for my health. And if we have a longer calendar, I need to ensure that everyone has my undivided attention. We have here, this was a celebration of a retirement of one of our employees, of course, the face of the building. You'll ask yourselves who we are. And I sincerely believe that we stock our court shelves with the highest standards of integrity, honesty, and truthfulness. We inspire public trust and confidence in the courts. We are a team that strives for excellence in everything that we do. There are some more photographs, if you don't mind. The other photographs?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sorry. I am privileged. Oh, and here are the most important people in our team. Every single photograph depicts here someone that helps this court succeed. And I am privileged to be the captain at the helm of this ship, our court. And I am excited to command and navigate it through calm and rough waters. I embark upon this journey with an amazing crew. My extraordinary first mate, Ms. Crystal Whalen, my court administrator, two very skilled quartermasters, my customer service division supervisor, Pete Sarsosa, and Ms. Tracy Edwards for our case processing division, a very trusty gunner who you see here every time you come, Judicial Enforcement Officer Rob Igo, who always goes the extra mile, a very worthy rigger, our court security officer, Joel Knight, and 9 very talented, able-bodied sailors, our court specialists, Ms. Rosie Pulido, Priscila Piña, Maggie Martinez, Nelly Ramon, Manny Martinez, Jesse Alvarado, Fatima Arias, and 2 new recruits, which will be coming on board later this month. Together, we work tirelessly to provide fair, efficient, and timely justice to everyone, every day. And I want to thank you for your time and your attention. Do we have any questions that I may answer for you?
Well, thank you for that presentation. It was certainly in detail, and I don't think I've ever had one like that, but I'm going to call on the councilperson, Laura Tano, because this is her business, and I'm sure she was an attentive observer.
I am very proud of all the work you've done in just the year that we've had you. I can't believe how much, you've seen the changes that need to be made, and you just went in there and changed it. For me, as long as someone tries to make something better, if it doesn't work, and then just, oh, that didn't work, let's try something else, I think that is a goal of a great leader. When I first started in doing this out of law school, my first boss said misdemeanor courts are the courts of the average person. That's maybe the only contact they've ever had or may ever have with a criminal justice system. So it's important that you understand that. And I think you do that with the lower waits in line, not having people wait away from their jobs 4 and 5 hours, easier orders of protection, just everything you said there. And the suspended license program, I'm glad we're adopting that because, again, that's something that people would just dig themselves deeper holes and become ostriches and not know what to do. And they can reach out to your court and not feel like I've really screwed up. I can't go back now. I've screwed it up so bad. And then they really get in trouble. So I want to thank you, your team, for all the hard work you've done. And I can't wait to see as you continue to make changes and we grow. Because if you look at all those houses coming, we're growing. So thank you, and tell your entire team that we're impressed by all their work.
Thank you very much. I will do so.
Any other comments? Yes, Laura?
What a whirlwind year it's been. Congratulations on accomplishing so much. I did attend the court before you arrived, and I attended the cattle call. And so I was able to see that process firsthand. And then I also attended since you've been our judge and saw the difference. And it does definitely feels like a more professional court environment. I love the innovation, the technology, just modernizing the processes, but doing all that and maintaining the human connection. And that's a rare gift that you can balance all of that together. So very thrilled to see the progress you made and looking forward to your continued success.
Thank you very much.
Bill?
I had the privilege of sitting down with the judge a week ago, I think, and just kind of talking about how we treat each other as human beings and bringing some humanity to the courts. And it was the first time I'd actually had the opportunity to sit down with anybody from the bench, from the judiciary. So it was a really good experience and a great opportunity to learn about that and to learn how we're taking, as Laura pointed out, or Sherry, sometimes someone's first and only time, making it personal and making it human. And the sense that I got before is we had not done that. It was really, this was a machine. Enter in here and you'll exit over here and you'll be touched by all these pieces and parts, but it was never a human that did it. So I think that's just another way of us taking our community and saying, hey, we are becoming a big city, but we are not going to forget where we came from, and we're not going to do it without heart. So that was very refreshing, and it was a great opportunity. The other side of this, which we didn't talk about that day, was all of the other changes and the staff and change is hard. Change is very hard. It's very hard to initiate. It's very hard to keep going. It's very hard on the staff. It's very hard on everybody else. But you can't give up. And you're seeing the progress. And I'm going to look more at Crystal and everybody else who from the court staff that may be hearing it. You can't stop. You can't quit on it. And it's needed. I think we had great success for the longest time under Judge Simonson. 20-some years he served here. And you leave a legacy behind, but sometimes that needs to change. There's things that need to change. So I think as our banner says, proud past, but we need to look at the vibrant future. And so I thank you for that. Just encourage you not to give up. It'll be discouraging at times. It'll be challenging, but I think when you look at it from it's what you have for the future, it'll be great. So keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Well, Council, those were very positive comments. I thank each and every one of you. You came at it with a little different angle, but I do think I like the more efficient. I like the LEAD program that you talked about, and I believe in the customer. Whether the customer has committed a crime or not committed a crime. And I know that we had some complaints throughout the years. I'm looking at Molly.
Don't
She
give
brought
it, that's
them in.
why I didn't
Yes.
speak.
Yes.
That's why
And
I
they
didn't
felt
say a
they
word.
weren't being treated fairly. And
my.
so, I mean, that's an opinion, but still, if we're doing everything we can, then we probably won't have many of those complaints. So I really appreciate you took detail and time to present this. Crystal, thank you. So we look forward to, whomever hasn't gone in the court, you should go in and sit. All right.
Please do.
All
You're
right.
all welcome all the time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much yourselves.
All right. So we're going to have to start at 6 o'clock on the regular meeting. And so we're going to review any informational ideas during that. You're looking at me like I'm forgetting something? Okay, you have that look like, Mary, you missed something. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll have a regular meeting at 6 o'clock. No further business. This meeting's